Hi, my name is Sandy Jeffers. I'm the Director of Pathway Recovery. Pathway provides transitional and permanent housing for homeless men who are overcoming substance use disorder and mental health. We help our guys to become financially self-sufficient, mentally stable, clean and sober, and begin lifelong permanent recovery. The only reason we're able to do this is because of the support from the Realtor Foundation. You guys have been with us for years, and you're absolutely saving lives and making it possible for us to make a difference.
When guys come into our entry-level program, we provide them with services that they desperately need. Within their first 2 weeks, we get them connected to mental health, primary care through our community partners, as well as needed services such as driver's licenses, social security cards, connection with health insurance, and other things that they may not have had prior to coming into our program. We also connect them with other community partners that help with employment resources such as resume building, job trainings, and then also getting connected to bank accounts eventually once they do start working.
From the streets all the way to independent permanent housing, we provide that entire structure in a complete housing portfolio. Once somebody has been at our entry-level program for about 6 months and they've kind of hit all the marks as far as sobriety, mental health stability, and employment income, they're ready to graduate to phase 2, where they put into practice everything they learned at the initial phase. They ultimately end up in permanent, safe, supportive, substance-free housing based on their income. The average length of stay in our apartments is 3 years. At the end of that stay, the majority of our clients move on to home ownership. Another thing that's unique about Pathway's expansion programs, 5 of our 6 programs are financially self-supporting. We only have to raise money for the entry-level program, where guys arrive with nothing but need everything. And this is a direct result of the Realtor Foundation, that we're able to give guys the foundation to move on to independent housing and home ownership. We also created our expansion programs by completely renovating vacant, dilapidated, boarded up properties that were actually crime infested, and we converted those into 100% newly renovated, secure, safe, drug and alcohol free housing, transforming not only lives of the people that live there, but also the neighborhoods in which they're located.
I'm from Florida originally. I had a very troubled childhood. I've tried to get sober a number of times. And I've always ran away from everything. I moved up here and I was afraid to make friends because everybody that I make friends with seems to use or drink. And I went to Fairbanks. I got accepted into here, and Pathways taught me how to make healthy friends and set healthy boundaries. And I've never had this amount of clean time in my life, and I owe everything to Pathways. I came through the entry-level program, and now I'm at Pathways 3, and that's what speaks volumes to me, is they don't just expect you to go out and get it on your own after you graduate. They have places for you to be fully independent, and that means a lot.
Everyone at Pathways was loving, nurturing, and they let me experience it on my own. So then I came back this year, and I feel very appreciated. I feel very welcomed. I feel like this is going to be a lifelong recovery commitment.
I enjoy being here. I'm very grateful to be here right now, and appreciate everything the place has done for me.
I just like to thank y'all for donating to Pathways, because this place is honestly one of the best places I've ever been in my life. I'm a runner. I normally get to halfway houses and recovery centers and I want to leave within like 5 or so days. And there's something about this place that keeps me here. And yeah, so I just like to thank y'all. Y'all really are changing lives. You changed my life.
Good stuff. Pathway to Recovery. We are excited. We are thrilled to be joined by Kat Stewart, Peer Resource Manager for Pathway to Recovery. Kat, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all you guys do for us.
We are super excited to be able to chat with you guys again this year. I'm going to read this. This is from your website, just kind of talking about Pathway to Recovery. Pathway is the only program providing income-based, peer-driven, substance-free, transitional, and permanent housing in Central Indiana. Pathway provides a solution for individuals graduating from other programs, which allows those agencies to decrease their waiting lists, which is awesome, and create space to serve those in desperate need of help. Pathways programs provide the additional time and tools necessary for individuals in early recovery to build strong, sustainable, substance-free lives while also supporting others in following in their footsteps. So that is fantastic. We were talking right before we started chatting that you guys are super busy right now. Like things are really rolling, which is great. You know, some of these programs, you don't want to be too busy because that means the problem is big.
Right.
But when you've got a pathway to recovery program, you want anybody battling addiction or just getting back on their feet to be taking advantage of what you guys are doing. So it's awesome that you're so busy right now. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, there's good and bad sides to both, right? Because, I mean, the substance use disorder is still a huge problem. And while we are making dents in that problem, there's still a need for housing, specifically transitional housing. So
Okay, sure.
we definitely need to see more of that than just us.
Yeah, and you said you guys are getting ready to build or break ground, or you've got another. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So we do currently right now have 3 phases of housing. So what we do that is particularly unique is that we do have 3 permanent housing income-based properties. So what we do is we take vacant, dilapidated properties that are crime infested, we rehab them, turn them into income-based housing. Essentially, they're normal apartment communities. It's just everyone there is sober. So we're breaking ground for Pathway 7 in next month, actually, and that will add an additional 21 units of the substance-free income-based permanent housing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys all over Indianapolis in terms of the different facilities and apartments and whatnot?
So they're all centralized around our entry-level facility, which is right on 22nd in Alabama.
Okay.
So our properties are just like 4, 5, 6 minutes right around. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you had mentioned transitional housing before, and I know that you guys have from our previous talks. So just as a refresher, there's different types of housing, though, right? You offer different levels, or I don't know if levels is the right term for it, but can you kind of explain what that is to everybody?
So we have 3 phases of housing. So our entry level is men only. It's for guys coming in out of inpatient facilities or incarceration. So it's basically like the basics. Like we help them to get their foundation. So whatever immediate barriers that they have or are struggling with, we provide the structure, the support, accountability, and then they move into self-sufficiency. So entry level 6 months, then they can move on to our semi-independent housing programs, which they sign a 6-month lease. They're giving back to the entry level house, and then that's when they can go on to our permanent housing, which is usually 6 months sober. They're doing the thing. They're self-sufficient. They have an income, and then they land there, and that's when they can come back and serve as peer support. Also give back to the new guys that are coming in the door. Yes. But our permanent housing houses, they're co-ed. So we have individuals, men, women, families that are coming from other recovery programs from across the state.
Okay. And just kind of touch on that, because that's, not to diminish the value of anything, but when you speak families and kids, that's the one that reaches me the most. So you guys, there is support there. Obviously, families are a part of this culture.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of, specifically, we see a lot of like fathers. They come in through our entry level program, and they're able to get their children back in their lives and provide a safe home for them, and they're sober. And we have a lot of stories like that, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a dad,
right,
like you can imagine these guys as they plan to reestablish their lives, one of the things they want to do is get back to being a dad and get back to being there for their families and all that. That's really cool. Tell me, so you said some of the people that you guys end up working with are coming out of prison. How, I'm assuming that the need there is probably greater than what you can address. That probably, are there more people from prison that you just don't have room to take on? Are you overflowed with people that need you? Obviously, if you're still growing, like how's that working?
I think that, the need is there for whether they're coming out of incarceration, inpatient facilities. I think that it's just unique based on the individual and their experience and where they're coming from. We're able to kind of have our structure in place, but also tailor our program to meet the individual and what their independent needs are. But specifically people coming out of incarceration, they need some sort of foundation to transition back into society as
Sure.
well. So they benefit a lot from our type of structure.
Yeah. How long have you been with Pathway, Kat?
I've been with Pathway a little over 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
So that probably though is long enough where you have seen, like you talk about, some of the people come through the program, then turn around and mentor.
Yeah.
Like that's probably really fulfilling to see
Mhm.
the growth and the to see people establish themselves and then to turn around and give back. That's got to be amazing.
It's absolutely one of our full-time staff members actually that we just hired on. He came through our entire program, and I joke with him all the time because he gives pushback sometimes. They were used to as a resident, and so now he's experiencing the same thing from
Yes.
residents. And so it's cool. He's in his own apartment. He's has a relationship. He has a cat. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
our guys go through the program and they get pets, and like
Yes.
it's the coolest thing to see. But yeah,
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Is that part of the goal is to, because you say permanent housing, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming at some point a goal is that they're not living there. They're able to establish their own residency and find housing elsewhere, but obviously living that sober lifestyle that now is within.
Yes.
Yeah, that they've learned.
Yes. So average stay in our permanent housing, I think, is anywhere from 3 to 5 years before they go on to home ownership.
Mhm.
So we see a lot of that too, which is really cool.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, average. Yep.
Wow. So that means, I mean, obviously, if you think about that and you think about the number of people coming through your program, if the average is 3 to 5
Mhm.
years, that's a long time to have somebody in a unit or moving from unit to unit or wherever the case may be.
Mhm.
So obviously, that's why there's this need, right? That's
Yes.
why you
Yeah.
need the support. And I'm assuming the money that the grants that you get, the money that you raise, that is to go find the housing, or what else are you seeing that use for?
So all the funds are generally used specifically for our entry level house. So the guys house of 24 guys that are coming in either off the streets, incarceration, inpatient facilities, they need the most as far as services goes. All of our other properties are self-sustaining. So our entry level is the one that needs the majority of the support and the focus and everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
so they can come in with a variety of needs that we have to help them focus on.
Yeah, it's amazing. And again, for anybody that's just tuning in, this is what we're doing. This is the Realtor Foundation. We are raising money to support the Realtor Foundation. The Realtor Foundation supports a bunch of different organizations like CATS, and you can see why there is a need. And this is the stuff that you maybe just don't see that's happening behind the scenes in our kind of framework of Indianapolis and across the country. But obviously, we're focused here in Indianapolis. Is Pathway? Is this a across the country type thing, or is this in Indiana?
Just in Indiana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Mhm.
And very interesting.
So
Yeah.
you have been with the organization for 4 years. Kind of a big picture question for you in your position and what you're doing. What has been the most rewarding part of what you're doing, kind of day in day out with these people, with your residents?
Oh gosh. I mean, being a person in recovery from substance abuse disorder myself, I know that the people that took the time out of their day to really sit down and support and care and be completely unbiased throughout my journey and my process, I try to apply that same approach with them. And it's like they come in and they're just hopeless. They're
Yeah.
absolutely hopeless. And we as people in recovery, we deal with a lot of stigma in society and organizations and everything else like that. So when we meet them at the door and we're like, hey, like you're home and like we're your family, to see them kind of gradually begin to trust us and that process.
Yeah.
And it's like the light comes back into their eyes and they have hope again.
Yeah.
And then they give back to the new guy that's coming in the door, just like they did, and meet them with the same, hope and love and support that they got.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you talk about, you mentioned the stigma, surrounding this, how from a society standpoint, like how do we start to help people not be so stigmatized and help them to understand like the true journey that people are on?
I think a lot of it comes down to being open-minded, asking questions, also the language that we use, whether it's just like in day-to-day conversations or in the medical field. A lot of times, like the language that we use can be very stigmatizing and us not be aware. Learning, like being open to learning and education and just asking people questions. A lot of times people just like want to be understood and heard.
Yeah.
So taking the time to listen.
Yeah, I love that too. I love that.
I know that we already mentioned that you guys kind of help, if I understand that right, you help overflow for other organizations as needed, or is maybe I'm not saying that right, but how do people find you? Not just on supporting you, but if somebody had a need, is that just, I think what we're learning is it takes a village, and there's a
Yeah.
bunch of different
That's
organizations.
our motto. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't steal that.
Yeah. So, but I love that. And again, I'm making some assumptions here. But when we're talking about somebody that needs housing, they also need support financially. They also need support finding a job and then getting employment and stuff. And so, and I know that probably doesn't all fall under your umbrella, but you're partnering with other agencies. Is that how people are referred to you? Is that how they find Pathways?
A lot of times it's either word of mouth or because we've been around for so long, people know of us. Also, a lot of like inpatient facilities or even like the prisons around the state, they know of us, and so they'll reach out. So they'll fill out the application through our website.
Okay. All right. So they fill out the application, then obviously they're meeting with the application is read through, and then I'm sure there's additional steps after that. But
Yes.
And it's a long process, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But the goal again is you're saying 3 to 5 years. That's the average stay that somebody's with you before they can go on to kind of do their own housing at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a long, I mean, there's a big process involved. And how many people does it take to run Pathway?
Yeah. I promise no numbers questions, Todd.
No,
I promise
sorry,
no numbers.
sorry.
But ballparking
Sandy,
it.
if you're watching.
Ballparking it. Is it 3 or is it 300? It's probably somewhere in between. But what do you?
No,
can you
so
estimate?
I'm so grateful. We have an amazing team. So it actually right now we have William Clayton, who has over 20 years in the field of addictions. He actually saved my life. So he's essentially our director of services. We have peer support volunteers, which are individuals and our other programs that come back and volunteer and give back. And so, but we really only have 5 full-time staff members.
Wow.
And 96 residents.
Wow. So you really are counting on each other in that village.
Yes.
But it's a small village, isn't it? Really? Like it's a lean village that's getting it done. That's making amazing things happen.
It's
in
a
the community.
lean, dysfunctional family. I joke with the guys. I'm just
stop
like,
it.
we have a dog. We have a rescue dog,
Oh, yeah?
Bubby. Oh yeah. We have all that. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. So there are a lot of career paths that one can choose. There are a lot of nonprofits one can be involved in. There are a lot of ways for people to apply their time and their talents and things like that. You've chosen to do it Pathway to Recovery. Is it because you were on that same journey and feel like now I'm gonna pay it forward to the people that are dealing with the same stuff I dealt with? Is that the big motivation, or is it something else? Why do you choose Pathway to be like, I'm going to focus my energies here?
It was kind of a divine intervention. I mean, I was a wedding event planner before this. So it wasn't like, I wasn't really sure what to do, but essentially my mentor guided me in the direction. Pathway was the first apartment, my first place I've ever had in my entire life when I came out of transitional housing myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of just landed there, fell in love with the environment, fell in love with helping the guys. And it's just been, total divine connection ever since. So, yeah.
Here's what I know, like whenever anybody is struggling in whatever area of life, or you're going through a tough time, or you hit your rock bottom or whatever, the people that are there for you in those horrible moments are the people that mean the most ever to you, that you will never forget, that have impacted your life forever. And I'm sure that's a big part of it for you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And now the beauty is you're being that person for so many other people too, which is amazing.
They're all like my little brothers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
I love that you
so
guys
cool.
include that though as part of the process. Is once they've gotten into permanent housing, that they're giving back as well.
Yes.
And able to continue to facilitate that cycle of giving back. So
Oh yeah,
that's great.
absolutely.
You had mentioned the new building. You had and maybe there's additional fundraising opportunities, additional events that you put on through your. Is there anything big coming up, or is there any kind of special events throughout the year that you'd really like to highlight right now?
So we just actually had our Jason Andrews Memorial Golf outing. So we just missed that, but next year I'll count you guys down for a foursome. Okay.
Let's go.
But no, so we have our groundbreaking in September, so you can watch our website for that. That'll be pretty huge. So really, our focus is just Pathway 7 and getting it up and going. So
Yeah.
Is that and I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug where they can go in terms of finding out more about you and donating or offering time. Is financially, is that the best thing they can do to support you and the cause? Are there other opportunities to volunteer? Anything else that you need from Indianapolis residents?
honestly, I mean, whatever anyone is able and willing, we're grateful, you know? So we also do adventure therapy. So if you guys want to come out, we just went to
Wait,
Kings
what is
Island.
Hold on. What is
Therapy.
adventure therapy? And why did we
Adventure
wait
therapy.
so long to be talking about this?
Well,
This is exciting.
Yeah. So every year we take them to Kings Island. Like we're getting ready to go visit 13th Hour again. And so, yeah, we do a lot of different fun stuff.
What's 13th hour?
It's the best haunted house ever. You have to check.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I don't do
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
houses.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't
It's
do
the
haunted
best.
houses. No,
Yeah.
no. I'm
I like
too
that.
scared. I'm
Yeah.
too scared.
Well,
I like that you call it adventure therapy. It's
Yes.
like, let's just
Yeah.
go have a thrill.
It's a field
Yeah.
trip. It's a field trip.
Sometimes we're going to go, sometimes we'll just go sit in the woods and meditate. You know?
I love it.
So it's
I love
okay.
it.
Cost effective, you know?
I'm going to start calling things adventure therapy because it really is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to kind of frame it. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
love it. I am going to call out, I know Todd's going to let you, you know, like tell people where to find you and all that stuff, but this feels to me like a moment where we've been talking throughout the day. If you are someone who has a family member or you yourself have dealt with addiction in this case, and you don't know how to pay it forward, first of all, get connected with Pathway. I'm sure they have volunteer needs and ways you can help, but make a donation now on behalf of yourself or whoever's been on the struggle. Do it for them because now you're giving back and you're helping other people that have been on that same journey. We've all been impacted. I'm guessing most of us know people or have been people that have struggled with addiction. And this is a way that you can truly, truly help other people. So I'm calling out now, like now's a great time to make that donation to recognize a struggle that someone you know has been on. So
Yeah,
I'm calling
exactly.
that out.
So for those that want to give, so for those that want to support you, where can they find out more information?
On our website, pathwaytorecovery.org.
Pathway
Or
to
they can call the
recovery.
house and I'm happy to help. We're always happy to help assist with other resources too. So it doesn't just stop. If they're not a fit for us, we can help them land somewhere else.
That's awesome.
Right. And that's that extension of the whole village motto.
Yes.
And I love that.
For
I love
sure.
that. Yeah.
Kat Stewart, thank you so much.
you
It's
guys
so
so
good to have you
much.
back with
Thank
us
you
again.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
thank you,
guys so
thank you.
much.
You are
I
the
want
best,
one
and we
too.
appreciate.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh
okay.
here we've got that one's working. Is this one not working? I don't know. You made yours go so loud. Anyway, you got to go for it,
I
right?
think Cat deserves the bell over there.
You, Kat is over the Kat Stewart. That's right. That's right. No, thank you so much for all that you're doing in the world, and
Thank
thanks for
you.
coming to speak with us as well.